Hey YouTube land, it's Audra from the Kurt's Corner. Welcome back if you're a regular subscriber, and if you're new here, I'm glad to have you. Welcome. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a DIY baby mobile. So if you know me and you're a regular subscriber, you know that I have a 6-month-old son and I love making things for him rather than buying them. I'm a mommy on a budget. I'm a stay-at-home mom. So if you know anything about babies, you know that their stuff is really expensive. Baby mobiles can be anywhere from 50, 60 or more, and you only use them for a short period of time because when babies can stand, they can grab them and it becomes a hazard, and then you have to put them away, and unless you have another baby, you kind of just wasted that money. So I like to come up with inexpensive ways to make things for my son that I would typically buy that are expensive, but I can make them on a budget. So today I'm going to show you how to make this DIY baby mobile, and I'm only using really limited supplies. I think it only cost me around like $8 to $10 maybe, and you can use coupons at your local craft stores to buy these supplies and get your costs down even more. So I'm going to be using some really cute yarn from my sponsors, Lion Brand Yarn. You can visit them at lionbrand.com. The colors, or the line of yarn that I'm going to be using today, is called Tweed Stripes. So this is what it looks like. These are just two of the many colors that are available. This one is called Popsicle, so it's a fun color for a girl. It's purple, pink, orange, yellow, really cute, really fun. And then here we have Lakeside, which is green and blue, kind of purpley indigo color in there. And then I'm going to actually be using a color that's called Apple Mint. It's really cute and it matches my son's room perfectly. So I'm going to show you now what we need to make our DIY baby mobile, and then we'll go ahead and get started. For this project you will need an embroidery hoop, cardboard or thick cardstock, yarn, and scissors. Okay, now that you have all of your supplies, this is a really fast and simple project. First, you're going to take your embroidery hoop and you're going to loosen it so that the two rings separate. So an embroidery hoop is made up of two pieces. Just slip it back into the middle to assemble it. So we're going to find the center of our yarn skein and we're going to pull that out. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull apart a few pieces and cut them individually because this is a tweed stripe. It goes on for a long amount of time in one particular color, and so that we can break that up and have multiple colors wrapping around our loom, we're going to want to wrap it multiple times with different strands of different colors. Otherwise we'll have too many sections that are really long in one solid color. So I'm going to pull my loom apart, my embroidery hoop apart, and then I'm going to stick the string, the yarn, through, and we're going to push it back together so that the piece is stuck between the two rings, and then we're going to tighten the embroidery hoop. So just twist that tight again, and then simply fold over the piece that you stuck through and wrap over that so that it's now secure in place, and then just start wrapping your yarn. I'm going to wrap this until I finish with this particular color, and then when I'm happy I'll cut it, or I'll finish using the whole piece and then I'll switch to a different color. Okay, so I am happy with this length for my blue color. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some hot glue, which I didn't mention in the supplies, but you will need hot glue, and I'm going to glue that off on the inside where you won't see it. And then I'm going to choose my next color and start wrapping, and I'll wrap over that hot glue piece so that you won't see it. So I am going to do that, and we'll move on to the next color. You can now see that I've wrapped my second section with a different color, and you can see that the color kind of transitions seamlessly, and this is where I put the hot glue and then started wrapping the next color so you can't even tell. And then again, I hot glued this piece and I'm going to start a new color. So I'm going to finish wrapping this and then I'll come back and show you what it looks like when I'm done. All right, here is my embroidery hoop. So I showed you the first few little ones that I wrapped first, and here it is completely finished. So the whole thing is wrapped, and I broke it up and just did little patches of color. So it's all different color going all the way around, but it matches the stars that I did. So I think it turned out really cute. So what I'm doing is I'm using just a manila envelope or folder. You can use cardboard, something that is sturdier than paper. So you can use cardstock or something like this. This is just a plain manila envelope or folder. So all I'm gonna do, and you can trace the stars if you have something like a template, or you can just freehand them like I'm gonna do. So I'm just gonna draw some stars, and then I'm gonna cut those out, and we're going to wrap them with our yarn. So the bigger the star is, I wouldn't say the bigger the better, but you don't want to use small stars because they're harder to wrap and they kind of come out just as a circle rather than a star. So these are bigger, so they have 5 points that you can tell that they're a star. So draw your stars first, and then once we cut those out, we'll start wrapping them in yarn. Okay, now I have my star cut out. It's not perfect, it's just a fun little funky star. Don't worry about it being perfectly symmetrical star. So just take your yarn and wrap it around, and then I like to just go around 2 points at a time, and that helps the yarn build outward. So just wrap your star however you want. You really can't go wrong. The tricky part is getting the points covered with the yarn. So I just like to wrap outward like this, and then come back and wrap around the other way, and then it kind of pulls in the yarn. So just do that until your star is covered and you've got your points covered, so you can wrap it around. You'll figure out how to wrap it around the best way to get all the parts of the star covered. It's really not hard. It might be a little frustrating at first, but you'll figure out how to do it the best way. See, I've already got one of the points covered. So you see, everything ended up eventually being covered. You just kind of wrap it just in random directions, and then eventually the yarn will spread out and cover the points. And you can kind of pinch it where the corners are with your finger, and it'll eventually spread out to cover the points. And just wrap it however. There's really no rhyme or reason to how you wrap it, just so that it all gets covered. So once you've covered your star completely, just take the yarn that you're wrapping with, and on whatever side that you choose to be the back side of your star, take the yarn and tuck it under one of the other strands, and then pull it through so that you get a loop. Then take your scissors and cut it, and you want it to be kind of long because this is the yarn we're going to use to hang the stars with. So with the loop still there, take that piece that you cut the end and pull it through the loop, and then that will create a knot on the back side of your star. And actually, I mean, there's not really a front or back side because they're going to end up hanging like this. So it doesn't really matter which side you choose. And then just cut it kind of short and then tuck in the little piece. And you have your star. So they're just fun little stars. They end up looking kind of like a plushie. They're kind of thick. So they're really cute. So now we have 5 little stars that we are going to put on our baby mobile. And I like to do it in odd numbers. That's just how I've always been. I think odd numbers look best rather than even numbers. And you can make more if you like, or you can do less. It depends on how big your mobile is and how many stars you want on it. So now you're going to take the yarn that we used to tie off our stars, and you're going to find a place on your star where if you loop it through, it'll hang basically going up and down. So just loop that through, and then you're just gonna tie a simple knot. Okay, and then just cut off any excess, and you can just tuck that little knot away. And we have our star that's now hanging on a string. So we're gonna take that, and now we are going to find where we want to put it on the mobile. So I'm gonna find a section that matches this yarn. And now what I'm gonna do is take my hot glue gun, and I'm gonna put just a little hot glue, and I'm going to figure out how long I want the star, and I'm just going to lay it in that hot glue, wrap it around a few times, and then I'm going to put just another tiny little dot of hot glue. Little goes a long way, and then I'm going to put the end piece in it again, let it dry for a second, and then hold it with your finger after it's cooled down, let it sit, and then I'm going to cut off. Make sure you're not cutting the wrong string. Cut off the excess, and now we have our first hanging star. So I'm going to go around my mobile now, and I'm going to hang them at varying lengths. You can do them all at one length, or you can do it at multiple lengths. It's really up to you. Now that all the stars are attached, we have our very own baby mobile. So this is what it looks like when it's finished. Very cute, sweet, fun, and bright. Sure to keep your baby entertained, and at much less a cost than what baby mobiles cost today. So if you do like this tutorial and you want to make your own, be sure to visit my sponsors, Lion Brand Yarn, at lionbrand.com, and check out all the great yarns that they have available for you to make your very own baby mobile. So if you did like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up down below and subscribe so that you can check out all of my other videos and any future videos that I come out with. And if you do decide to use one of my tutorials, be sure to give me a shout out on Facebook or on Twitter or even on Instagram. I'll put all of my handles down below in the description, and send me your project so I can give you a shout out. So until next time, I'll see you later. Bye!